I still remember the exact moment I realized my own blood saw me as nothing more than a human ATM with a pulse. It was New Year's Eve, just hours before the clock struck midnight on 2025, and I'd just handed my card to a waiter for a bill that read $1,847. 14 plates cleared, 14 glasses half empty, 14 faces smiling like they hadn't just bled me dry. And as the machine beeped, approved, my brother-in-law, Derek, leaned in close enough for only me to hear and whispered, "About time you were good for something." That whisper cracked something open inside me. Something that had been fracturing for years. My name is Alex. 32 years old. Physical therapist. The one who fixes broken bodies for a living, shattered knees, frozen shoulders, spines that forgot how to hold a person upright. I spend my days coaxing strangers back to life, teaching them how to take their first painful step after surgery. They cry in my treatment room, thank me with shaking hands, tell me I gave them hope. I come home to people who can walk just fine and still treat me like I'm the one who's crippled. For years ago, I bought a 2-bedroom condo downtown. Saved for 7 years straight.
No vacations.
No new phone until the screen spiderwebbed. I ate the same cheap meals, worked extra weekends, watched friends post beach photos while I stared at spreadsheets. The day I got the keys, I stood alone in the empty living room and cried like a kid. It was mine. Finally mine. Then my younger sister, Mia, and Derek hit what my mom called a temporary rough patch. They needed a place to stay. Just a few months. Mom's voice on the phone was soft, pleading. "You have the extra room, Alex. You're single. You work all the time anyway. Be the bigger person." I heard the unspoken part. You owe us. For every sacrifice we ever made. So I said yes. A few months turned into 4 years. They took the master bedroom. We have more clothes, you don't mind, right? Their dog turned my cream sofa gray with fur. Utilities doubled. Groceries vanished faster than I could buy them. Every now and then Mia would Venmo me $50 with a heart emoji and call it our share. My name stayed on every bill, every account, every subscription they quietly added my card to. I told myself it was family. I told myself I was lucky to be able to help. But that wasn't the worst of it. The worst was the slow drip of disrespect that finally wore me hollow. I dragged myself home after a 12-hour shift, muscles aching from lifting patients, head pounding from insurance battles, and find Derek sprawled on my couch, gaming headset on, asking without looking up, "Rough day?" "Yeah," I'd mutter, dropping my bag. He'd nod. "Tell me about it. These ranked queues are brutal." One night, I came in late and froze outside the kitchen. Mia and Mom were on speaker, laughing. "Alex is basically our live-in landlord and personal masseuse," Mia said. Mom chuckled. "Well, he doesn't have a wife or kids. His money's free for the rest of us to use." Derek's voice in the background. On-call fixer with magic hands. I stood there in the dark hallway, heart hammering, feeling something inside me curdle. But that still wasn't the worst. The worst came on my dad's birthday. Mom planned a big rooftop dinner. Fancy place. City skyline glittering below us like spilled diamonds. 14 family members. Everyone ordering steaks that cost more than my weekly grocery budget. Derek grinning across the table. Go big or go home. Right, Alex? YOLO.
Shots.
Dessert towers. A sparkling birthday plaque that probably cost $100 alone. When the leather folder landed, Dad opened it, glanced at the total, and slid it toward me without a word. Then he announced, loud enough for the next table to hear, "Alex is covering everyone tonight." He makes the most. Laughter rippled. Mom patted Dad's arm like he was joking, then looked at me with that soft, expectant smile. "It would."
Means so much, honey.
Derek leaned in again. "About time you were good for something." The number stared up at me. $1,847. Half a month's take-home pay. Gone in one evening. My hand didn't shake when I pulled out my card. The waiter took it away, like he was carrying off a sacrifice. While the machine processed, conversation flowed again. Vacations they wanted to book, new phones the kids needed, the bigger TV Derek had his eye on. No one looked at me. No one said thank you. When the receipt came back, I signed it, stood up, raised my empty glass. Everyone quick toast. They quieted, smiling, expecting something sweet. Happy birthday, Dad. I hope tonight was everything you wanted. He beamed. Then I looked straight at Mia and Derek. And I wanted you all to know, this is the last time I pay for anything. Ever. The table went still. I'm selling the condo. Listing goes live next week. You have 30 days to find somewhere else to live. Mia's wine glass froze halfway to her lips. You're what? I'm serious. I've already spoken to a realtor. Dad's face darkened. Alex, sit down. This isn't the place. No, I said, voice calm and clear. This is exactly the place. Because I just spent almost $2,000 so you could all eat filet and drink champagne while treating me like a walking wallet. 4 years of subsidizing your lives, your dog's vet bills, your daycare late fees, your car repairs, and all I get in return is jokes about how I'm finally useful. Derek's face flushed red. You were listening that night?
Yeah.
I was. Mom's eyes filled. We are not doing this here. I'm done doing it in private, so you can pretend it never happened. I set my glass down. 30 days. I'll put it in writing. And from now on, if you can't afford something, don't buy it and expect me to cover it. Silence. Thick and suffocating. Dad's jaw worked. You'd put your sister and your nieces out on the street? They have jobs. They've had 4 years rent-free. They'll figure it out. I walked away from the table. The city lights blurred as I took the elevator down alone. The fallout was immediate. Group chat explosions. Mom's tearful voicemails. Dad's angry ones. Mia texting. How can you do this to your nieces? Derek calling me heartless. I turned my phone to do not disturb and slept like the dead. Next morning, I called the realtor. Let's do it. Photos scheduled. Comparables pulled. The projected sale price made my chest tight. Not rich forever money, but enough to clear my own debts. Maybe lease a small clinic space. Finally build something that was just mine again. I handed Mia and Derek their formal notice that night. Printed. Dated. 30 days. Mia whispered, You're really doing this? I am. Derek muttered, You'll regret it when you're old and alone. I smiled, small, tired, but real. I've been alone for years. Just didn't realize it until now. The next weeks were war. Slammed doors. Piles of dishes left for me. Passive-aggressive notes on the fridge. Mom cycled through every weapon. Guilt, rage, bargaining. What if they just paid something? We can work it out. My answer became a quiet mantra. The decision is made. Some nights I almost broke, especially when my 5-year-old niece crawled into my bed and asked, Are we moving because I was bad? I held her tight. No, baby. You're perfect. The grown-ups just need to grow up too. Therapy helped. My therapist kept repeating, You're not abandoning them. You're refusing to drown so they can stay afloat. The condo sold in 12 days. Over asking. Closing came fast. Mia and Derek packed in a frantic rush once it was real. They found a small 2-bedroom on the edge of town. My parents helped with a deposit, something they apparently could always afford, just never chose to. I moved into a quiet 1-bedroom with windows that actually open and no one else's dog hair on the couch. Sometimes the silence feels too loud. Sometimes I wait for the guilt to crush me. It hasn't. Instead, there's space. Space to breathe.
Space to save.
Space to dream about a little rehab studio with my name on the door. I still love them. I probably always will. But love isn't a blank check. And respect isn't optional. If you're watching this and you've ever felt like the Family Fix-It Fund, like your worth got measured in what you could pay for, tell me in the comments, would you have walked away that night? Or would you have stayed quiet one more time? I want to know I'm not the only one who finally chose themselves. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe for more stories.